light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing, light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing, light 'em up, go dumb, go stupid, yeah, we undefeated, sucker free, we got the seats heated, hot, let's face it, you about to get a beat down, less talking, let's take it to the streets now, ain't gonna be no rematch, why you wanna fight, touchdown on sight, yeah, turn off the light, oh, turn off the light, let's get it poppin', go dumb. When you see me moving, bodies dropping. Move some. I'm about to go sick, call Earl. I'm turning up like E40, not your average girl. I'm turning up. We can rock like Rocky, make you tap it. Ghost ride the whip, look at my drip. This ain't a copy. We got a night if you wanna throw hands. When they see me fight, they wanna throw bands. Go dumb, go stupid, yeah, we undefeated. Sucker free, we got the seats heated. Light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up.
It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for that Monday night boxing recap known as the Shoe Shine. All right, guys, tonight I'm going solo dolo post Monday night football edition of the Shoe Shine. Philadelphia Eagles improved to 7-2. And no, tonight Drew Evo will not be with us, but he did tell me that he will be here tomorrow, so I intend to do a show tomorrow. Intend to see everybody back tomorrow at about 8 o'clock for our regularly scheduled Shoe Shine edition. Shout out to everybody out there who tuned in last Thursday. I appreciate everybody. We did our football picks, tailgate talk. Appreciate everybody that participated and that put in their picks for the entire week 10. And if you're listening, Fonzie, shout out to Fonzie, 619 Fonzie. 9. A total of 9 wins, tying Drew Evo. I had a pretty bad week as far as picking. I had 7 wins. Man Cave had 7. Ryan Crypto got 6. Paul's tactic of picking a ton of he only got 3. But shout out to everybody that participated, especially all the new people. Some of the new people did not stay for the entire show, so I was not able to include them. It just wasn't fair. But if there's I think it was Gazda. Gazda got 6. He came pretty close, guys. So again, I'm going to be trying to do something where the person who beats Drew and me the most, I'm going to be trying to give you guys a $100 gift card to Amazon for this Christmas. So I hope to see you guys on Thursday. And shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to Big Spooky in the building. I don't think a lot of people expected me to go live, so it looks a bit slow here. But let me double check. Let me just put on my my here so I can see the chat, guys. I appreciate it. Also, there's some new changes to the show right now. If you for you guys out on your end, it probably doesn't matter, but I am using a brand new microphone. Shout out to Wile E. Coyote, Scott Goodwill. Appreciate you. I'm using a new mic. You guys may have seen that I started trying to do some shows. We're trying to build a studio at my good friend 702 Man Cave. Shout out to Vince if you're listening. And I came up on 2 podcast microphones. Now, they're not the mic that I generally use. My microphone I use is my secret weapon, guys. It's an AKG microphone for those of you tech geeks. They don't even make that microphone anymore. Chat's weird on the vert. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. I apologize for that, Wiley. You know, we're going to probably do another show Thursday and horizontal for sure if we do a show over at Vince's studio, 702 Man Cave. But I came up on 2 microphones for free, but I'm still missing a lot of stuff to get that show, the Thursday show at the studio, missing some microphone stands and some microphone cables and another pair of headphones would be really good. But let me know what you guys think. You guys that do listen to the show, let me know in the comment section. It's a different mic altogether, but I got them free. Like, I really needed that. So I try to get this microphone to sound as close to the regular microphone. I think YouTube is glitchy tonight. Interesting, bro. Interesting. Do you think it just went down right now? Let me check on my end. Yeah, there was some problems the week before. Anybody else that could attest that their YouTube is tripping? And we're going to get on to some boxing talk. I'm going to keep the show short. Anybody else having issues with their YouTube? Let me know. What's good, bro? What's good, that SS Spider? Yeah, I'm having problems logging onto my account. That's a fucking trip. Definitely having problems logging onto my account. All right. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate everybody who's in the building. Just hit that thumbs up for me. I appreciate it. Get this show, help my channel grow. We're almost at 2,500 people. You saw the thumbnail. Shout out to the Eagles. Shout out to Drew. Drew had to work tomorrow. Anybody that has my wrench, you guys are feel free to, if it's just people being goofy because we're vertical, it's all good. But if they're being disrespectful, feel free to do your thing. To all my moderators out there, I appreciate everybody. All right. It's very difficult to be a boxing fan in America. Mom Food and Plant Things, I love to see you here on Monday night. Yes, I'm so happy to see you. And by the way, Mom Food, can you tell I've got a new microphone? So this is going to be the new microphones we're using in the studio at Vince 702 Man Cave. And because we've been having a lot of audio issues, and we even, the stream crashed. We tried to do a show last Thursday, and the show just crashed. It froze on our faces. And we had audio, but it wasn't that good. I couldn't even get the two microphones going. So I'm thrilled that I was able to get these two microphones. And hopefully we'll be building that studio up so it sounds and looks really good and really professional. I was saying, guys, this weekend for boxing fans in America, we finally were excited about something. You see it in the thumbnail. Golden Boy Boxing's top fighter, in my opinion, probably his top fighter, right, in his roster. I'm talking about Vergil Ortiz of Texas fighting Lubin. Lubin is a 154-pound contender who we've seen fight. I personally think he did not beat a good friend of our show, Jesus Ramos Jr., and that was on a co-main event for PBC, where unfortunately Jesus Ramos left it up to the judges, and he didn't walk away with the victory. But Lubin is a guy who's been in there. He's been knocked out early in his career, was knocked out viciously by Charlo. Also was in a absolutely bloody and the type of fight that takes years off of your career. Bloody, disgusting fight. His face looked rearranged against Sebastian Fundora, one of the champions at 154 pounds, whose fight was recently canceled here in Las Vegas or postponed against Keith One-Time Thurman. A lot of people were anticipating this fight was going to be fireworks and potentially was going to be a fight of the year type fight. A lot of excitement around this fight. The co-main, unfortunately, the co-main for this card on Saturday night did not live up to the expectations. It was quite boring. But shout out to, I believe his name is David Stevens of Philadelphia, who was in the co-main, because our very good friend here, Fonzie619, we actually met him at the Virgin Hotel here in Las Vegas right after he fought Beck the Bully. Fonzie was able to offer him a beer and bought him a beer. And that was immediately after fighting Beck the Bully. And I believe that fight ended in a draw. I don't know if Fonzie's in here, but let me know, Fonzie, if you remember, and shout out to Fonzie. But we did buy that guy a beer, and that co-main event this Saturday was rather kind of a disappointment. And then you get to the main event of the night. We had all been waiting for this because boxing, well, we haven't had any good fights. But again, it's hard to be a boxing fan because if you don't have DAZN, D-A-Z-N, if you do not have the app and pay for this streaming channel, well, you didn't get to watch it. Unless you have one of these Fire Stick devices, then maybe you did watch it nonetheless, right? And DAZN, guys, there's been a hot topic all week because just like everything else that is going up in price here in America, whether it's your healthcare premiums, and mines are going up to the point where I'm ready to, I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. Healthcare premiums, car insurance, car payments, mortgages. Well, the streaming applications, they're jumping on board too, all of them, including Paramount. Today, I read that Paramount who is going to be taking Zuffa Boxing under their wings, which is going to be the new home of the UFC. Paramount is also going to be raising their subscription prices. DAZN did the same thing, announcing this week that they were going to have an all-inclusive $44.99. That's right, $45 times 12. Who can afford to be a fan of the sport of boxing? So you get to Saturday night, and we have finally a fight that people had anticipated. Now, Vergil Ortiz, incredible fighter. Did not win a championship at 147 pounds under the direction of Oscar Golden Boy Boxing. And his nemesis, his big, the big nemesis for him right now is Boots Ennis of Philadelphia. He did win the title. Not only did he win a title, he unified at welterweight, something Vergil Ortiz was not able to do, not win a title, but he has made an impressive run at junior middleweight, 154 pounds. And now Boots Ennis is in the division, just had his big debut in Philadelphia, knocking the guy out in, again, almost the same fashion, brutal fashion, a round or two, Vergil Ortiz always also had a very impressive fight this weekend, knocking out Erickson Lubin. But was Erickson Lubin even really going to be the type of fighter that was going to press him, that was going to give him the fight that people were expecting? And I have to say no. Drew and I both picked that Erickson Lubin would be knocked out. And the odds at DraftKings were very good. If you picked, Erickson Lubin to get knocked out in the late rounds, 9, 10, 11, 12, you're going to win a pretty good bag. But actually, shout out to Vergil Ortiz. He's that good. He was able to get him out of there in much less time. I feel bad if you paid to be at the event because you didn't really get to see much of anything. But again, Erickson Lubin, he's been knocked out in the past, and he's been in some brutal wars against Sebastian Fundora, who you just can't fight a bigger freak of nature in that division, champion Sebastian Fundora. And with the elbows and the long reach and his big hands, he was able to bust up Lubin's face. And I have to think, my opinion is that Lubin very much is like, the type of fighter that Tim Tszyu is, where Tim Tszyu has suffered some pretty brutal losses. And when he gets in there with a heavy puncher where, you have to start questioning how good is Tim Tszyu and Erickson Lubin's punch resistance. What's left of their punch resistance when you get in there with a big puncher. Erickson Lubin never got in that fight this Saturday night, never got into it, never got into a groove, never got into a rhythm, was fighting off his back foot as he felt the pressure of Vergil Ortiz and couldn't get his shots off, couldn't find his timing. And all it took was Vergil Ortiz to get him into the ropes and start working him with some, 3-4 punch combinations, some very carefully placed shots to the temple. Brutal shots to the temple that had Erickson Lubin out on his feet. That's all. That's all it was. I think the most entertaining thing going on to boxing fans right now is because, we don't have, a lot of these boxing stars don't have an American television network that is behind them. We either going to be watching pay-per-views on Amazon or you have to pay for DAZN to watch these fighters. So the fact that there are two fighters going viral that have the attention of social media, Vergil Ortiz, Philadelphia's Boots Ennis, and having a face-off, the type of face-off that they had, you saw that in the thumbnail. They told him, don't come to Texas. They told Boots Ennis and Eddie Hearn, don't come to Texas. Well, of course they're going to come to Texas, guys. Everybody wants to see this fight, and there's been accusations from both sides that the fight, there's been an attempt to make this fight in the past, and this person's ducking me, and no, we didn't get an offer, you're ducking me. So they show up to let the boxing fans know that this thing is practically a done deal. Let's get it done. Let's make this fight happen. I put it in my title. Don't count on it. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, the latest thing I heard today is that March 28th, Oscar has tried to put a hold on the MGM Grand, which I think is a great venue for this fight, neutral location, or the T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, home of the Golden Knights, for March 28th for a potential neutral site for this mega showdown. Are there issues with this fight getting made? There are tons, guys. There's tons. For one, immediately after this fight, though, they had the best stare down and the best shit talking I have seen in a very long time. Two fighters, top fighters in their prime, face to face. They find themselves with insurmountable obstacles to getting the business of the fight made. I can go on with this long list. I haven't even written them down. First and foremost, guys, neither of them are actual champions, though there's a strong argument that could be made that potentially they're the best fighters in their division. There's going to be people that tell you Vergil Ortiz is the best fighter at 154 pounds, and yet he's not one of the champions. He holds a minor belt. He holds an interim title. And Boots Ennis also just won an interim title, not the actual main title. Yeah, I know. It's confusing. Yep. They're not actually full champions. They're not champions. Why on earth? Why on earth would you have two people with undefeated records that have the potential to become full champions, that have the potential to become stars, risk it all to fight somebody who's not a champion? Because the boxing public thinks it needs to happen now? At the end of the day, okay, the promoter, who I respect very deeply, Rick Mariagon, manager of Vergil Ortiz, put out a statement saying that he wanted $10 million. If there wasn't $10 million attached to the offer, don't bother sending it. I've been to countless of fights at the MGM Grand. I'm going to tell you right now, if one guy is getting paid $10 million at the MGM Grand for a fight of that caliber, you're just not going to be able to pay everybody. You're just not. Not in today's environment. Ticket sales, the gate, the fact that the general public really, people are willing to pay for sporting events. We saw the Canelo Alvarez fight sell fairly well. But because Vergil Ortiz and Boots Ennis, they're not particularly household names, I'm going to say it's going to be pretty difficult to sell out the entire venue, especially if you hold this fight at T-Mobile Arena. You're going to find it very hard to sell out T-Mobile Arena. You're going to find it very difficult to pay Vergil Ortiz $10 million. It's going to most definitely have to be a pay-per-view, but let alone, what about the champ? What about not the champion, but Boots Ennis? What about him? What about his payday? Are we really looking at $1,000 nosebleeds, $500 nosebleeds? Shout out to Crying Hippie. He says it's a great fight. They go with most fan and hype to make matches, whoever will bring the most cash to the card. It's a great fight. It's a great fight. But the problem with both of these fighters and their teams is the fact that they've let everybody in the division get ahead of them while they think they're building stars. Other people generally actually are becoming stars and actually collecting accolades. Xander Zayas, 23 years old. I've been following him since his first professional fight. Is now going to go for a unification January 31 in Puerto Rico at home. While Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz have completely fucked up the opportunity to fight other champions like Murtazaliev. Neither of those people have made a sincere effort to line up a title championship fight against Bakram Murtazaliev, the IBF champion, who has not fought in over a year, who would gladly accept the fight against Vergil Ortiz, who would gladly accept the fight against Boots Ennis in Boots Ennis' own backyard. 17,000 people. I'm telling you that the guy Murtazaliev would go and fight Boots Ennis in his backyard with his title in front of 17,000 screaming Philadelphia fans. Where's been the sincere effort to make Boots Ennis a world champion? What about the effort of Vergil Ortiz with his promoter Oscar De La Hoya, who has a long relationship with Las Vegas' Top Rank Boxing and Bob Arum? Where's Vergil Ortiz been calling out Sebastian Fundora? Where is that fight? Why hasn't that materialized? Both of these guys aren't world champions because they're not pressing they're not pressing their team, their management, their promoters to make them world champ, to get them a shot at being a world champion. And they may very well be better than Xander Zayas. They may very well be able to beat Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas is laughing all the way to the bank. He ain't even tripping off you guys right now. The way he sees it is, come January 31, he might be unified champion of the world while you two guys are still bickering and showboating and trying to go viral on the internet. When your promoters probably have no actual genuine intention of making the fight Vergil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis a reality. Neither of them are world champion. One person is going to take a major step back by losing that fight. So why would you risk that? Again, meanwhile, in January, most of the actual world champions in this division, this red hot 154-pound division, most of them will be fighting in January. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And we have to remain to see. So let me give a shout out to Fight Hub TV, Marcos Villegas. This is off of his Twitter account. I thought I'd play this because let's listen to a little bit of what Eddie Hearn, the promoter for Boots Ennis, and I think he's been doing a fairly good job. I mean, he's getting Boots Ennis 17,000 tickets sold. I mean, that's what you got to do as a promoter. But the path to being a world champion for Boots Ennis right now, if you're playing games, he's not going to get it. There's two avenues for him to become a world champion. That's what you need to focus on.
Hearing things like, we're the A side and we want 10 million and we want, what does Boots, it's like, what, guys, Ortiz has never been a world champion. Great fighter. Boots has been world champion. He's been a unified champion, but neither of them are world champions now.
There you go. Neither of them are world champions now. Eddie Hearn already being told by Rick Marigan, if it does not have a 10 million, if it doesn't have 8 figures, don't bother sending the offer. $10 million to fight somebody that is not a world champion. You're basically admitting, you're basically saying that the fight's not going to happen right now. Because there's no way anyone's going to pay $10 million to have this fight, just to pay one side. And you're getting into a space where you're arguing about who is the A side and the B side. Who is the main character? Who is the supporting character, right? Quite honestly, Vergil Ortiz, I've seen him fight 3 times in Las Vegas. Couple of shows were at the Virgin. Amazing venue, 3,000 to 4,000 people. But that's about it. That's what Vergil sold there. I did see Vergil fight at the bigger stadium, I believe Mandalay Bay, against the Ukrainian fighter. Incredible fight. But he was down twice in that fight. But again, maybe I think there was 7,000 people. Boots Ennis now has a track record of selling nearly 17,000 seats every time he fights.
They're just the top 2 fighters in the division. So if you truly believe that you're the best, make the fight. And it'll be really interesting to now see if they truly believe. Because the fight's there, the fight's done, the money's there, the pay-per-view's there. I mean, it's a massive fight, but you can find an excuse if you don't want to do it. So we'll see.
And obviously we saw the fighters face off, and we know you want to fight. The fighters clearly want to fight. And you mentioned the $10 million mark by Rick Marigan, I believe his name is, the manager of Vergil Ortiz. Do you see it as an obstacle? I mean, is it a real obstacle?
If you come out with things, look, if the fight delivers and it does really well, the fighter's going to make a load of money. They're going to make a load of money anyway. Now,
they could make, he's saying that they could make a lot of money, but if you're coming off aggressively and saying there has to be $10 million guaranteed up front, then the fight's never going to be made. You're going to find it very difficult not only to get that money back in ticket sales, but we don't know how well the pay-per-view is going to do. So it's almost like you're waving a red flag saying, now you're not really interested in making this fight a reality.
But when are you going to hear me come out about this fight, or Boots coming out saying, we want this, we're the A side? No, we just want the fight. We just need to prove that we're better than everybody else. But if Vergil wants the fight, I have no doubt. Does the father? Does Robert Garcia? Does Rick Meridian? Probably not. Does Oscar De La Hoya? Probably not.
All right. Crying Hippie says, if not enough engagement online and not many fans caring to see them fight, even though they should, they won't. They will hold them back and tell them to hype it up more online. That's a great point. We call that in the business, we call that marinating. Let the fights marinate, right? We had that done with Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. They over-marinated a fight for years, and then the actual fight came at a time where the fight was insignificant, and it wasn't at the prime of either of their careers, and the fight was a complete letdown, even though it did very well at pay-per-view because people anticipated some fireworks or some magic in the ring. It actually ended up being really an inconsequential fight. Now, these two guys, they're pretty young. They truly are in the prime of their career, and they truly are. Both Boots Ennis, he has a path to become the IBF champion. He can really focus on Murtazaliev, the person who destroyed Tim Tszú's career in just 3 rounds. He can go that avenue. Murtazaliev would gladly take that fight. And Vergil Ortiz can gladly risk it all after this Thurman fight with Sebastian Fundora, and see if Sebastian Fundora is willing to, if Sebastian Fundora, who I believe will be victorious against Keith one-time Thurman, maybe Cinco de Mayo, Sebastian Fundora versus Vergil Ortiz for the belt, for the title. And Boots Ennis can fight in the meantime, potentially. If he really is who they say he is, can he beat the very relatively unknown champion, IBF champion, Murtazaliev? Can he do it? Because, Tim Tszú wasn't able to do it at all. But if both of them are successful, they'll both be world champions. And it could very well, providing that, he's going to have a difficult test in front of him against a new champion. But our boy Xander Zayas could be the youngest unified champion in the division and can take his pick. And then we truly will have an incredible division. We'll have Xander Zayas with 2 titles, Boots Ennis with 1, Vergil Ortiz with the other. Vergil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis will have everything on the line. 2 world titles, unification. Now we're talking millions. Now we're talking potentially 8 figures here, where $10 million for 2 world champions to fight, it doesn't seem unrealistic at all. But at the moment, with both of these guys being potentially some of the best fighters in a very deep division, your boy Dave from the Shoeshine is saying it does not make sense. This fight just doesn't make sense right now. So, will people on social media, boxing Twitter, Instagram, YouTube boxing community, will we keep the pressure on both of these fighters to make it happen? I think they will. But also the thing that works against everybody is in the day of social media, everybody asks for receipts. And sometimes you get caught in lies and sometimes you get exposed. Good to see you, Sarah H. Everybody go follow my homegirl, Urban NV, Sarah H., one of the best Las Vegas live streamers out there. She's built it from the bottom up. All right, we're just talking about this fight that happened this past Saturday and what it means. Will boxing, Las Vegas, very important. I talked about it. We got F1 coming up next week. While Sarah's here, I just wanted to say, if Sarah's still listening, Mom Food is in the building. Guys, today I wasn't going to come on the show. My father-in-law, shout out to my father-in-law, is here with his wife. And we went and played Vegas Tourist today. And I cannot believe how good the food was at Ellis Island. Ellis Island is impossible to get to on F1. They have a brand new upstairs rooftop deck. They've got the front yard. They got the old school restaurant in the back, the Village Pub. They sent me a bunch of offers. And my father-in-law used to live in Vegas back in 2007, 2008, like 3 or 4 years. He was the first person to introduce me to the barbecue at Ellis Island. So he's like, wow, we got to go. He heard they had this double cut prime rib, $70. But we had some mad discounts, guys. I could not believe how good Ellis Island was today because the last time I was there, the last 2 times I've been to Ellis Island, the food sucked. The famous steak special. I'm going to make a short out of this, guys. The famous steak special, top sirloin, your vegetable, your mashed potato or a baked potato, the salad was freaking incredible today. $9.99. I had an extra $2 off, just like the old days, $7.99. My wife got the $6 burger, which was freaking delicious. $15 for lunch. And then my father-in-law won about $400 at, he won $400 at Ellis Island and another $300 at Silverton. And I just made it home in time. Shout out to him. I wish I could be that good of a gambler. I wish I could walk away with $700 in a day. Sarah says, I love the fish and chips at the Village Pub. They are good. And to be honest, dude, the food was really good today. And I'm just thinking, because of F1, you know, and the fact that Ellis Island is actually on the route and they're going to have a party, I think they brought in all their best chefs. So if you're here in town for F1 or approaching, or if you want to, you know, go take a look at the new rooftop deck, because it's going to have a perfect view of the F1 track, now is the time to go check it out. Now is a great time to go check out all the new stuff at Ellis Island. So, Cinco de Mayo, Canelo Alvarez has 2 more fights. We don't even know. He hasn't indicated he wants to fight unless Terrence Crawford wants to have an immediate rematch, which he hasn't specified he wants that rematch. He hasn't specified if he'll stick around and defend those titles. You have a perfect opportunity here. If Vergil Ortiz and Boots Ennis want to steal the date and Golden Boy Boxing wants to put on an amazing Cinco de Mayo fight card between 2 very young, incredible fighters, let's be real. We haven't seen the best of Canelo in a very long time. The days where we were like, okay, this fight's going to be amazing. It's been years. We have an opportunity here. If they don't steal the date, if Turki Al-Sheikh and Canelo Alvarez don't decide to put on an event here, Cinco de Mayo in Las Vegas, then yes, please. If you guys are both available, just do it. Just do it. Will you get $10 million per fighter? I don't know. You know what? That's up to the public. That's up to the general public whether or not people think it's worth it. People think it's worth it. For now, I really don't know. Hey, Mom Food, I appreciate everybody that's in here today. It was going to be a short episode, very short episode. We're going to be back on the air tomorrow with Drew Evo. Shout out to everybody that participated in the football picks this weekend. Again, I don't see Fonzie in here, but he did come away with 9 wins. Drew had 9 wins, and me and Man Cave were tied for 7. Paul, 3. The underdog tactics did not work out this week. So a very short show. I appreciate everybody that's in here. I'm looking at my Twitter timeline, guys, and this is obscene. Let me just share this with you guys. I guess Rod Stewart's son was in one of the Misfit Boxing.
And down goes Sean. Beat Dave. Flatlines.
This is pretty.
In round 1. Ben, he should have been unafraid of the power.
Did you guys see this guy after the knockout? What he did?
Sean. Beat Dave. Flatlines. Rod Stewart's son in round 1.
Yeah. You knocked out Rod Stewart's son. This is boxing related. Sydney Sweeney, right? One of the biggest actresses there is. She's been full of controversy about some campaign. Well, Sydney Sweeney is playing Christy Martin, a very famous, one of the greatest women's boxers of all time. She's portraying, Sydney Sweeney's portraying Christy Martin in a new movie that came out this Friday. It was absolutely canned, unfortunately, for boxing. They made a Clarissa Shields movie. I saw it on Netflix. It was pretty good. Sydney Sweeney's movie had the lowest ticket sales of any movie opening. Yeah, it is bad. Very bad. Now, I don't actually know if the movie's bad or not, but virtually nobody went to see this movie. And shout out to Sydney Sweeney, because not only did she have to bulk up and change her physique, but yeah, I mean, she had to do all that. Learn how to fight, learn how to box, the film. And nobody was interested in it. Sometimes I feel like nobody's interested in my channel either. Appreciate you guys. I'm Dave in the 702. We are going to be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock with my co-host Drew Evo. And again, later on this week. Shout out to everybody. Until then, peace.